3 years ago, I started selling on Amazon, and by my 4th month, I quickly realized I can essentially make as much money as I want with the business. 4 months later, I tripled my sales and tripled my profits with the exact same strategies with just a couple of different additions. You see, the business we do on Amazon, if done correctly, can literally be you inputting cash for the inventory and outputting sales with your profits. And since we're buying items that are already selling on Amazon, they are literally telling us exactly how many times these items are selling a month. So we know for a fact that if I can invest 10K in product XYZ, I will produce 20K in sales and X amount of profit, usually between 30 and 50% ROI on my total spend. So for that example, about $3,000 to $5,000 in profit. And I know for a fact this works because about 3 months ago, I started consulting for a student of mine named Johnny, and we had a very, very strategic spend goal in mind to reflect his desired sales and profits. We are now heading into month 4 and we've hit every single number to a T. And at this run rate, by summertime, he's going to be producing $50,000 in revenue every single month on Amazon because of the compounding effect that he's been able to do with his money that he invested in the beginning. And there you have it, a cash generating machine spawned. So what I'm going to do in this video is walk you through that exact system so you can build it for yourself. So what if there was a system you could do on Amazon where you literally just input cash? For this example, $5,000, you produce right around $7,500 back from that $5,000. So this would typically equate to about 10K in total sales. This is what you're looking at for sales. And after you pay for Amazon fees, out of that 10K, you're getting back about $7,500. So on top of this, you're left with about $2,500 in total profits from this initial investment. Now, the reason the ROI here is about 50% is because if you have less capital, right, 5K is typically less capital. You want to be shooting for higher ROI items. I would not be settling for anything under 30%, definitely not under 30%. And I would shoot for closer to about 50 to 80% profit ROIs on top of your capital if you have less money to invest. So again, what if you can have a system like this? I'm here to tell you, you definitely can have a system like this if you actually implement Amazon correctly and you do it the right way the first time. So here's what we need to know, right? The quantity of the products that we're buying is going to make it easier for us to purchase. So we need a system that gives us lots of different items to buy, right? That's going to make it easier for us to go out there and spend this 5K so we can produce our profit right there. But the quality of your products is going to what's dictate your margin, right? And this goes back to what I was mentioning here, having that 50%, those are high quality products. We're going to make more money there. Now, in the beginning, when you're starting up, it's hard to do both, hard to find a lot of products that are really good products. So you may need to sit there and test a lot of products that are a little bit more mediocre. Obviously, however good you are sourcing will dictate the types of products that you do bring onto your store. But this is just a fact, right? More products you have, easier to spend money. So if you want to really scale this and make a lot of money and you want to spend 50K every single month on inventory, producing 100K in sales and probably taking home anywhere from 10 to about 20K in profit, again, depending on the quality of your products, you need to have lots of products to buy to make that process much easier for you. Now, here are just some examples of items that you could go out there and buy just for anyone that doesn't believe that there's items out there to sell. Quick plug, if you would like my personal one-to-one help in building out your Amazon business, the sustainable ways with systems and teaching you different sourcing methods that I can guarantee you've never heard of before, that I've developed myself over the last 3 years and over the last thousands of hours I've done teaching my students one-to-one. If you would like your hand held through this whole process from start to finish, or you're stuck under 10K a month and you want to break barriers, make more money, but better yet, have a real system in place so you can actually build this business long-term, there's a link down below, booking a call, give you a demo of what that looks like. And if it is a good fit and you don't come to me saying, I want to make $10,000 next month, and you understand that business does take some time to play out, I'd love to partner with you and help you do that, right? There's obviously lots of items that flip, that resell on Amazon for profit. And here's just a couple examples. This Swanson in a 2-pack here can be purchased from the website for $8.29 right here. There's actually a discount code to get that price down, paying about $12.53, right? This would be an example of a profitable item that maybe we would want to spend a little bit of our capital on. Right, a couple more examples right here. Here's another one that my Mr. VA sent me over the last couple of days, just so you guys can see some examples of winners. Right, this item sells for about $40 and it's purchased for about $20. Looks like it's actually out of stock right now. So this would be an example of an item that I would add to a CRM, which I'm going to talk about here in a second as we progress through. That's actually one of the systems, right? Because just because this item is not good right now does not mean we don't want to keep tracking it, because they also have a discount code here that brings it down to about $16, which makes this a very, very, very profitable item. So we don't want to just see this and forget it. That's a terrible way to run an Amazon business. We need systems in place, and that's just one of them that I'm going to discuss here in a sec. And here's another example of another item. Sells for about $27.48. and it's being bought for about 15. Again, same exact thing here. There's a discount code on the website. How am I, what am I using for discounts? Well, I'm actually using Capital One Shopping and Coopert. This will be an example of a very, very, very profitable item. So all these items here, these 3 examples, right, our buy costs here are fairly low. They're right around $10 a piece. So all we need to do is buy 10 to 20 units of each of these, and that's about $300 right here. Or sorry, that's about $100 here and spend $100 here. Actually, this one here would be about 150. Another about, about 120 here. So now we're left with about 100. It's about 250. On top of this, about $370 in spend, and that's for only 10 units a piece, right? So if we can spend $370 on 10 units of each of these, we're going to turn through those products so fast because we're selling these products simultaneously. And this is part of the system. It's having a wide catalog of a lot of different items that are selling, going back to the quantity of your products, right? We need a lot of these, and I'm going to show you the system we're going to implement to actually have lots of products to sell over time. Now, this is just a 10 unit order. We can up this to honestly 20 units because these items are selling fairly well. So now we're looking from 370, now we're sitting at what, about 720 or something like that, about 720. I could be wrong. 740 in spend. So 740 in spend off 20 units. And again, same thing. These are going to sell through easily within a 30-day period. So that's already about close to about 20% of this, 15% of this, very close. So you can see just 3 products alone is getting you close to these numbers already, right? Now, obviously, we need to implement systems in here to actually find these items and actually hold on to these items because these items are all cyclical. So there's times to buy them, there's times not to buy them. But if you can implement these, we're going to go ahead and generate some cash flow on Amazon. So here's a problem that you're probably stuck with right now. We're going to expose the solutions here towards the end, but one of these 5 things is probably where you're struggling, right? You probably suck at sourcing, or Amazon's new to you and you don't know how to source yet. I encourage you to go watch a couple of my last videos. I do lots of sourcing in those, showing you exactly how I actually would be sourcing if I was brand new. But obviously this is a big issue that must be solved. You have no systems to generate you consistent leads, which is actually what we're going to talk about in today's video. And you're also relying on leads lists, right? You have no exclusivity. Leads lists suck. I'm telling you, if you go to a leads list, they're going to be sending you items that everyone else is receiving. It's going to get more saturated. That's obviously the one cause and one issue with it. But another issue to this, the leads they send just suck. I mean, like, they sell slow, right? Like, a lot of these leads sell 50 a month, and there's a place for 50 plus sold, items on your store, but you should be able to go out there and track down items that sell 50 plus with ease. You don't need to pay for a leads list to do this. It's a waste of money. And if item sells 50 a month and there's 10 other people looking at it, that item is going to be absolutely shot. So seriously, this is not a solution to your problems. A leads list is not a solution to your problems. You must get better at sourcing. Okay, another issue you could be having is everything you buy tanks. And this is also because you have bad sourcing methods. You might have bad sourcing methods. You also don't know how to properly analyze a product. You don't know how to look at the RTR, the risk to reward. Typically, if I look at an item, I want to see that offer count shrinking. If it's going up, there's a high chance the price is going to fall. So you better have a big enough buffer inside of your ROI to account for that, because there's a high chance that with the offers going up, I can guarantee the price will fall at least a little bit. And if you're at a 20% ROI with the offers going up, you're losing money on that listing guaranteed. And that's where a lot of new sellers get caught up. They don't properly look at Keepa charts and they don't know how to analyze properly. Okay, another thing is you're not tracking your old leads. You're not growing your nest of products. If you want to have sustainability come month 4, month 5, month 6, and even 3 years later, right where I'm at right now, you have to properly be tracking everything. And there's tools you can use to do this that make it extremely easy. Now, again, if we can implement these things and fix these, we can eventually start investing lots of money, like 10K, producing 15K back. Again, this is at 50% ROI, making right around 5K profit on 10K spent. Again, going back to this, if we have good quality products, which should grow over time because you have more products to choose from. We'll talk more about that here in a sec. So we know that in order to produce profit, we need to spend money on quality inventory. So we need more products to choose from, which I've already mentioned a couple times. Now, these are 3 things you want to implement. You want to implement a VA, right? You definitely want to get a VA. This is going to help build out your nest of products. Here's just an example of what my VA sends. He's been with me since October. And you can see you have a VA that's sending you products here daily, sends you about 8 products. About 40% of them are pretty buyable today. But either way, every single one of these items in here, every single item in here, even if I'm not buying it today, is being tracked, right? And it's going into my CRM of arbitrage opportunity. So this right here alone is a CRM of products, right? I can always come back to these and reference these products later. And even if I don't buy them today, we know that arbitrage products are all cyclical. So I can maybe buy them in 3 months or even 6 months, right? Here are my 3 years later. There's literally items from my old VAs list from over 2 years ago that are resurfacing today. and I'm not having to go dig through those. Obviously, there's probably a nest of well over 3,000 items inside of this CRM I have by now. I don't have to go look through them individually one by one. We actually can set up a tracker inside of Keepa that'll actually track these for us, right? And we can track this inside of Keepa to make sure that we're actually being notified for these items when they are trending back up. Obviously, that is how we're going to speed this up. So you have your CRM, right? This is just an example of a CRM, right? This is just my VA list, but I have another VA list and I have another sheet that I track all old opportunities on. And this is just one example, right? So you have your VA sending you products, you have your old leads all being tracked inside of Keepa. And if you can implement these things over the next several months, you are going to have endless products to buy. I mean, you are literally going to have so much quantity, and the only way that you can have quality is by having quantity, because now you can choose which products to buy. If I have 1,000 items to choose from that are all profitable, well, obviously I'm putting my money in the ones that are producing me the highest ROI. So whether that be 50% ROI, 40%, whatever that may be, and this should obviously be growing over time because you're introducing more products, and products are resurfacing because they're all cyclical. And this is the system that's going to allow you to have a ton of items to buy. So now, Johnny going into month 4, 5, 6, 7, a lot of those old items that he sold through in month 1 or even month 3 are now being profitable again. And they're not kind of profitable, they're very profitable because the offers have fallen. They've fallen off of everyone else's their products, and now we can go in there and buy them. And again, it's allowing him to make more money, but also grow his sales because more quantity and also more quality. And it's literally so simple to implement. You get your VA to feed you products so you don't have to sit there and constantly source. Mind you, you still should learn how to source before you do this so you can train them properly. You obviously track your products with Keepa, track product feature, and also you're building your CRM. This is an example of a CRM, but you can even just have your own. If you pop into any Google here, into SellerAmp, you can set up your Google Sheets. You can have your buy sheet, you can have a leads sheet, whatever it is, whatever you want to call it, and you can export these directly there. Again, even if it's not profitable today. So I'm going to show you an example of items too that you can potentially look at that might not be good to buy today, but could be later, right? These are all cyclical items. So this is what a cyclical item looks like. Here's 2 examples. We'll look at both of them just so you can see exactly what I'm looking at. We have this this seasoning right here. So today it's not that profitable. It definitely would not be something I would buy, but historically throughout the year, it sells right around $20, which would be an item that I would buy. So even if I have some in stock when it's dropping, it's not a big deal. I'm selling through it. I'm just not restocking it for right now. And I know throughout the rest of the year, there's lots of peaks where it's very profitable, right? This is cyclical. It's profitable here, not really profitable there, not there. And then here it's profitable the rest of the year. And again, now it looks like it's dropping again. So it looks like for this specific item in your nest of products is maybe profitable about 60% of the year, which is fine. It can serve its purpose. It can be an item in your store for 60% of the year. And this is what you have to look at arbitrage as. It's not, you can't get glued to any products. And I'm going to touch on this more towards the end, but like, we're not glued on any products. We are glued to our nest of products. Like, you need to develop this nest of items to buy. So you're buying these when they're very profitable, right? You see this chart here, these offers, right? They're up, they're down, they're up, they're down. It's very cyclical. That's one example. And here's another example, right? Now it looks like it's getting very saturated, but we can see back here, lots of sellers, they fall. So this item down here is not very profitable, but look, from June all the way up until about September, it's very profitable. And even down here, it was okay. And then it's very profitable again. And then it's okay, right? We're not buying these in crazy bulks. I'm not buying 1,000 units of these. And honestly, with arbitrage, you can't, right? You can only buy sometimes 10 units. Sometimes you can buy more. But again, this depends on the niche you're looking into. But you can't always buy all you need. This item serves its purpose. You buy smaller quantities and you're looking at your overall spend. And in order to hit your overall spend on good products, you have to, again, have lots of different items to buy. And these are all just cyclical product examples that are in my CRM that are being tracked, that I'm buying when the offers are shrinking and the price is going up. And I'm making money on those for as long as I can. The moment that they're not that profitable anymore, I'm just not rebuying them. And that item serves its purpose. Again, this item serves its purpose all year long. We can see, right? Like, there's times where this item's up here at about $39, which makes it a very solid product right here. We're making $7 a sale. Down here at about $35, I don't want to be buying this. It's not enough profit. So currently I'm not buying it. And that's just how it works. You need essentially to do this for your business in order to have this cash trading machine. I'll tell you another example. A student of mine, Maria, talking to her not too long ago. She literally had like 2-week span a couple months ago where she didn't spend any money because she had some issues come up. And she noticed those 2 weeks the following month to a T. Literally, those 2 weeks were the worst 2 weeks she's ever had. Not ever had, but had it as of recently, because she wasn't feeding inventory into Amazon. So you need to constantly be feeding inventory in, whether it's daily or whether it's weekly. You can't be sending one shipment in a month. You're going to have inconsistent sales, inconsistent everything. Items are going to tank because you're not getting them sent in quick enough. You're going to make less money. So you got to systemize this thing, invest capital, and again, try and spend money daily if you can. That's just the easiest way to do it, and it makes it so much easier to hit. But ideally, what you want to be doing here is, first things first, is you're buying resurfacing leads. So you're tracking your products with Keepa. You're getting notified. You're buying those items when they're going back up again. So first things first, you check your email. Okay, 4 new products are resurfacing. Yeah, those look good. Spend some money there. Great. That's a little bit of our spend. So let's say we want to spend $1,000, okay, every single day. We look at these resurfacing leads. Okay, we're able to spend about $300 on those. And now we're left with about $700 left to spend. We check our VA's list. Maybe they did okay for the day. There's 2 products I can buy. So it's about $300 I can spend on 2 new products. Now we're left with about $400. Okay, what did I sell the day before? Okay, what are the items I sold? Okay, I sold a lot of these. Let me check my inventory levels. Looks like I can replen on these. Looks like it's still good. Then I can spend another $400 on replens. Next thing you know, you are spending your spend goal in like 20 minutes because you have this system right here that's feeding you all these products that you can buy. Okay, and let's say you can't hit your spend goal, whatever. You know, you did this business for long enough. You know how to do the business. Go out there and find a product profitably. Sourcing is so easy. If you have this system in place, you should be a wizard at sourcing. If you're not spending enough time doing the business. Okay, this is a big time business, right? You're making a lot of money with this potential. You have the potential here to make 10K a month, 20K a month, 30K a month. You're making doctor salaries in under a year with a business like this on Amazon. Of course, it's going to require time on your end to get good at these things and to implement these systems right here. It's not going to happen overnight, right? So here's how we're fixing all this. You practice more and you focus on learning the market. Okay, again, go look at my videos the last couple of weeks. I did a lot of sourcing in those. You can see exactly how to do that. All right, you hire a VA early on. I hired my VA in the month of August. I say May was like my first official month of actually making sales. So about 4 months in, I had my VA. Okay, you cut out leads list. Seriously, just start building your own CRM of products. Don't use a leads list. Start building out a CRM. Your VA's list is CRM, and any products that you're tracking are CRM. Stop neglecting Keepa charts. Only try buying products where the offer is shrinking. And this is hard to do in the beginning when you're still starting out. I get it. When I was starting out, I didn't have the luxury to do that either. But if you develop your CRM, you will have the luxury to literally only be buying products where the offers are shrinking, and you will not lose money on those listings. You are not going to lose money. You're going to have higher margins. You're going to make more money. You're going to have less bad buys. You're going to make more money. You're going to be more profitable. Okay, and any lead that looks historically arbitrageable, right? So going back to this item that we're looking at, clearly this is arbitrage. Even if I wouldn't buy it today, that thing is getting tracked. If I'm sourcing and I wouldn't buy it today, it's getting tracked. It's going to a Google Sheet, and I'm going to buy this product later because I know for a fact that it's going to be profitable again because it always is. This is how Amazon works. This is how arbitrage works. You have to look at arbitrage differently than wholesale, differently than brand direct, differently than private label. This is a completely different beast here, and it has to be managed differently. So what works for wholesale, where you're buying replens constantly, you're hitting MOQs, you're doing this, you're managing your inventory, making sure you're not going out of stock. We're not doing that with arbitrage. We are just making sure we're spending money on quality products. You develop a system around that, and you will never go broke. You will make a ton of money doing arbitrage, okay? So that's how you're going to have this smooth business that you can eventually scale to 50K spend, 100K revenue, that you're now producing your profit, right? I'd say, obviously as you scale, you might take a hit in margin because you're selling fast moving items, and those are typically going to be more consistent, but they're going to offer you less ROI. So either way, if you can spend 50K, you're making minimum 30%. You're taking home 15K a month profit from a business that pretty much runs on its own. How much better can it get? How much better can it get than that, right? But the first thing is you must solve your product lead flow issue. Right? Money spent is more important than your products. Do not get tied to any products. Please, I say this so often. The people that get tied to their products are the ones that eventually dry up and quit Amazon. If you can develop this system, you will always have products to buy and spend your money on. Now, I want to show you an example of why this is important. I'm going to show you the month of April. I think this was like my 10th month or 11th month, right? So like month of February, I hit about 130. I took a step back in the month of April to try and work on some margins. I think I did right around 120K revenue in the month of April. And I want to show you the products I sold. I'm going to sort it based on quantity. So you can see all the different items I sold. You can see the profits they all made because I had a couple items that made me a good amount of money, but I'd say about 2% of my total catalog was like a lot of money coming from a couple items, but 95% of that catalog and 95% of the sales was like $100 from this item, $100 there, $200 there, $300 there. It was small profits per items. And this all goes back to the fact that the products don't matter. If a product only makes you $100 a month, it is still worth it, because if you can find that product and then add another 30 products like that, you're making $3K, right? You cannot neglect products because of this. And I made so many videos going in depth on all that kind of stuff too. But yeah, here's an example, right? Had a banger product, made me $900, right? Sold 400 units, $1,300, $300, $2,800, right? This was a good one, made me a lot of money from that product. But if you look at this, majority of these items are making me 75, 400, 30, 176, 44, 320, right? They're not making a whole bunch of profit each individually, but I have this really large catalog of items. You can see there's 9 pages of different products that are selling. I probably sold through 200 plus different ASINs just in this month. And that was able to produce me right around $15,000 in profit. Okay, how much is that a year? That's like $200K a year. If you can produce $15,000 in profit every single month, you're making almost $200,000, $180,000, more than doctors. This was my 10th month of business. And now I'm still able to run this business with the same systems, and it's even easier now because I've been able to build that CRM out over time. I hope this makes sense. You got to look at this business differently than you do with any other business, and you guys got to have that shift here. If you want this to be a long-term business that you continue to pursue for a very long time that actually produces you money, you have to build a system out something like this. And this is the solution that you need to your problems. If you're struggling with arbitrage, or if you want to start arbitrage, do this from the beginning, because you're going to thank yourself come month 4 when you've been doing this. You're going to have the easiest time making a lot of money. I hope this video has been extremely helpful. I'll see you guys next week. Take care.